All right, you guys, it is Wednesday night. It is time for the Notary meet and greet. And we just got done watching Sheila's first TikTok video. She's going to be making her a notary one, but I want y'all to see she left the mock signing event from this weekend because we had the event this weekend, and she took straight action because I was telling them we need money right now going into the third quarter and before things slow down. And even though our notary money may not be the money that we are, we want it to be notary money, but what we have to be smart about is wherever our expertise lies right now. Like my expertise lies right now in real estate. I am a real estate broker. That's where my expertise lies. I'm going to be able to convert that expertise into money a lot faster than my notary expertise. Why? Because I got 10 years in the game versus 9 months in the game. So what we find a lot of times is, as notaries, when we're trying to start this business under this notary umbrella, we stay so focused in spending all of our time and all of our energy trying to figure out this notary business. But the notary business takes money to build. You have to have money in order to build your notary business. Well, where do you get this money? Well, you get it by you monetizing your expertise. And so I was talking to them about that at the mock loan signing. And Sheila's got experience in, guess what? Bookkeeping and accounting, but this whole bankruptcy thing is something that she's into too. So she took action and she went ahead and she started her TikTok with, I gotta show y'all again.
So Monica, I gotta say, I love it. Oh my gosh. My daughter just did something with it and it was phenomenal.
Thanks.
Love it. Thank you.
I am following you. Hold on, let me make sure I follow.
That's what I was gonna ask next. Being that I'm not a social media person, how do we are we gonna just ask people in the group to help follow, get us those followings that we need? Because mine's at one, literally.
Well, I tell you one thing, that sometimes can have a unintended consequence because these algorithms know if you're already in a Facebook group and they start getting a lot of follows for follows, what they'll do, I know at least they'll do that on Facebook. I don't know about TikTok, but I know on Facebook, I've been a part of like real estate groups and all kind of groups where, oh, follow my page, follow my follow for follow. And then people's accounts get banned or their reviews get removed. So just be careful of that. That's the only thing I'm gonna say on that. But I will tell you this, just use that, because I remember the day when I had 5 followers. You have to use your creativity, come up with a video, and your followers are gonna go up like that. Earn it the right way, because that'll be the way that you can be sure that nobody can mess with your account, because it doesn't take long before they figure out if it's real or if it's fake. But let's get the line started this evening. Who has something they want to talk about? Raise your hand. We can start the line. And Natoria is first. Go ahead on and come on.
I'm sorry, y'all. I had to get it out. I've been working all day, literally. I left my house.
Okay, sorry about that.
So I've been working all day. I have not stepped foot out of my house. And I think I got a little bit overwhelmed when it came to the Duns and Brads. So I had already created a EIN and a Duns and Brad. I've already had those credentials with my first business. Well, after listening to the LLC video, he was like, stop right now, go and redo everything. Basically, he was just saying to go and get everything in order so that everything matches up with each other. So I created a new signing service, which I had told you a little bit about it because I'm going to be moving to Texas.
Right.
Well, after paying for the articles of formation and establishing the EIN, I realized Duns and Brad, I'm gonna lose the time that I've been in operation as well as the credibility. I had that for almost 3 years. So that's my concern. And I've already paid for the new formation for the business, other business. So now I'm confused on like, what do I do? Because I can't get two DUNS numbers so that I can do the SAMS.gov.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, so you got two businesses. One has already gotten a lot of the foundation laid, but you've recently, based on watching this LLC training, gone and started the new signing service, which you were planning on doing anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, okay, tell me what your question is again.
So the question is, so when I tried to register for the SAM.gov, you know, it kept pulling up my Duns and Brad's number for the original business. So I found, yeah. So right now I don't know how to move forward because I don't want to lose the credibility that I've had with my Duns and Brad's number that I currently have. So I was just like, what do I do? Do I do business as DBA for several signings? But again, I've already paid for everything. So yeah.
This one may be a little bit out of my league, Notoria, because it's to me, my first question is, why is Dun & Bradstreet pulling up your same business? Is the address, are you sharing the same ad? That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. That having been said, it's probably a simple solution of like finding a virtual business address for one of your businesses. That way that original business, you can keep that credibility like you're saying, and then you establish a new business address for the new business. Anybody run into this before? Anybody else know a little bit more about this than me? I don't want to lead her down the wrong path. It might be that you might, go ahead.
This Desiree, I'm sorry, I just hopped on. What were you guys talking about?
So Notoria she just finished the LLC class, okay? So she's trying to get everything in order, but she already has a business that had an established Dun & Bradstreet presence, giving her that length of service credibility. You know, she's already got that business established. And so in watching the LLC class, as far as setting up her notary business, she wanted to get everything kind of where it needed to be. And so she went and established a new Dun & Bradstreet number, or tried to, but the address is the same as the existing business. So she's at a crossroads. She doesn't want to lose the credibility and everything the time she's got with that original business, but yet she's trying to start this new notary business and wants it to have its own, you know, presence, its own everything with Dun & Bradstreet, so that she can pursue SAM.gov and everything.
Okay, I would suggest, because this is what I've done, I would suggest she go ahead and get the virtual address. It's gonna cost just to use that address, but it'll be an actual location that if she decides to go for her SAMS.gov registration or any of the other certification, she will have that, she can use that address as well. And I also just found out that when you use a virtual office, you might wanna ask them ahead of time, how many companies can you list that will use that same address? So I have up to 3 companies I can list to that same virtual address on one virtual office that I have. I can list up to 3 different businesses on it. So I would just start looking around in your area for a company that will offer you the virtual address and stuff. And even if you needed to use the office itself, if you wanted to meet a client or something, they allow you to do that as well.
Right.
Okay, so the virtual address is different from a registered agent, because I purchased that offline today. It was about $45 to get a registered agent, so that, because I know they kept saying that you cannot have, I operate out my home, so they were saying you can't, from the LLC video, it said you don't want to use your home address. Right. So I ended up purchasing a registered agent address, which was like $45. But now I can't use that address with Duns and Brad's because they want a physical location. So that's why I'm confused with everything now.
Yeah, and I don't know much about the registered agent. I'm not, you know, I can't speak to that, but I can speak to the fact that when I did my LLC and did my business credit accounts, and when I registered with SAMS.gov, it was really important. They would not take a UPS or a USPS address. They wouldn't take any other like postal addresses or anything like that. I had to have either use my home address or I had to use a virtual address that I established. And with a virtual, when you do a virtual address, it actually is a co-working space. So you have the opportunity to have a mailbox presence there where you can receive mail, and you'll also have a receptionist at the desk, but they also have office space. Like I said, you can meet clients there if you need to. So that's a virtual address.
Yeah, and it sounds like really, Notary, the only thing that you have to do at this point is just get that separate address. I mean, the registered agent is just so that you have a place where all of your documents are going to be mailed to. That's the place of record. If somebody was to say file a lawsuit, let's just say, they would look up your LLC information for your state, see who the registered agent is, and send those documents. So that's really the biggest function of the registered agent that I took away from his class. But as far as serving as your actual business's address, you want to get some other address that's specific to you that is not necessarily your registered agent address. But it sounds like it sounds like you're on the right track. It sounds like you would benefit though from somebody, even if it's a friend who's a lawyer or an attorney, or somebody who's fresh out of law school, to maybe kind of get your business structure organization set up like you want it. That way you don't have to worry about it being wrong. And, because it's a little bit of the blind leading the blind on that one right here.
And new attorneys coming out of law school, they do a lot of free pro bono. There
we go. So I don't know how you find them, but, check that out. And let's get over here to Wayne. Wayne, where is Andrew the cat?
Andrew's sitting in the window, looking out the window.
We'll see him later on then.
Yeah, I just want to say that I was approved to be an online notary in Tennessee today. Yeah. And
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I was having a lot of difficulty with the technology, and I want to say that Amy Sykes with Cyber Rights came to my rescue.
Yes!
Because of her, I was able to get it done today, and I want to thank her.
Way to go. Work makes the dream
I'm
work,
so happy for you, Wayne. Oh my God, I'm here.
Wayne, I'm so excited for you. I cannot wait till this starts to take off for you. I am going to be pushing for you when I market in Tennessee. I've already got the 600 attorneys. And let me show you, hold on just a second, the email that I got back. Because I did, for those that are already in here in Tennessee, because I know Tennessee's Ron, and I know a lot of y'all are getting ready. And I am out trying to market to try to start getting us some business so we can get this thing going. Well.
Hey, Monica, did you hear that New Jersey turned the law into permanent?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, October 20th, the New Jersey notaries can be Rons.
Oh my gosh, you guys. This is
like October 20th something, but somewhere around my birthday. Just saying.
Love it. So here's the deal. I sent out 592 of these emails in several groups yesterday. I blind copied everybody, obviously. It said basically, are you in need of virtual case management support for your growing practice? Why am I asking this question? Because I have defined this audience as the solo practicing attorney. That's the audience that I'm focusing on. So you always want to speak to your audience when you're marketing to them. So I said, are you in need of virtual case management support for your growing practice? Would access to a remote online notary benefit your clients who travel frequently? What about a mobile evening notary? All three things are pain points for a struggling or a solo practicing attorney to be able to move their cases forward. They need somebody to help them manage the cases. They need somebody to help move their cases forward when documents need to be notarized. And a lot of times their clients are all over the place, and a remote online notary would definitely come in handy. So I said, if you answered yes to either of those questions, a virtual notary case manager may be the solution. Made it up 2 days ago, folks. Now it's a thing, okay? And I make sure, and we have to make sure as notaries, we remember that our value is not in our stamp. I repeat, stop building your business around your stamp, okay? Start building your business around the fact that you are a 1099 contractor, a background checked, already vetted individual, a public official, insured, obligated to do no harm, and trainable. Start to position your business around those bullets versus I can do a notarization, because doing a notarization is only going to get you so far, right? So you have to be able to see yourself as this value added asset to whomever you attach yourself to, be it a signing, be it a title company, be it an attorney, be it a dentist office. You are a value add. You can trust me, Mr. or Mrs. Business Person, because the NNA already run a background check on me. I've got insurance. In my state, I have to have a bond on top of that. Not only that, I took an oath to do no harm to the public, and I'm a public official. So if I screw up, it's pretty easy to hold me accountable. What do you need me to do? Then it becomes more than just about the stamp. You guys understand? So long story short, I put together this survey, and I sent it out, and I got a response back. One of the responses came from, let's see here. I only got one response. And she wanted to know, she said the office of Roger, Shea, and Spanos would like to find out the costs involved with the virtual case management support. So and that's when I quickly went over and developed went to Brittany's class and developed my my brochures, and I could do it in pretty quick fashion, simply because the template was just a real easy thing to click on, and I didn't have to worry about creating it from scratch. So thank goodness I had access to that, because this template was something I was able to go in real quick. I remember going through Brittany's class. She said, only put the relevant experience in your experience profile, all the pertinent stuff that you need. And then there is the one sheet. That's the one sheet. And then the pricing sheet is here. Let me share that one. And in order for me to effectively come up with these numbers, I spent many hours working the pricing calculator. And for those of you guys who don't know what the pricing calculator is, it's in the class, how to determine your pricing. My point is this: once I started to do the research on the target audience that I'm focusing on their problems, it became clear that there is an opportunity here to be able to provide virtual case management support. So this is just one of many ways that you can segue your notary business to more consistent and reliable and sustainable income. Yes, Urania.
Hello.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question on that, the one sheet thing. So
Yeah.
she has a link in there that showed you how to do it.
Oh, absolutely. All I had to do was log into the class. She has there's a PDF that says NNU links, and I opened that up, and then in that was a bunch of links, the links to the one sheet, the link to the pricing sheet, and there's a couple of more things. I didn't go to those because I was just focused on those two documents. And then I was able to change it, because in her class about branding, she talks about the importance of being consistent, staying on brand with your colors and everything like that. So I uploaded my logo to Canva. And when I did that, it automatically extracted my colors from my logo. So I took the blue from my Complete Signings logo, that's the one I'm referring to, and I matched it onto my one sheet, and it made it more of a consistent type of a situation. So yes, it's completely easy. It's just a click and go. That's the only thing I had to do, was click and just, it took me the longest time to figure out what to say, to be honest with you.
And then the second thing, as far as the business, I am more so focused towards notary work too, because I've started it in December, and I've only had, wasn't able to like do signings until like April, fully in April, getting my, commissions and all that. And so far, I have only had 2 signings. And I'm like, and don't get me wrong, I get them, and I respond, but they go to other people. So it's like, you know,
Well, it's not your fault.
Frustrated.
Well, I don't want you to get discouraged because it's not your fault. And I think this is a very important thing that everybody understand about the mortgage market. The refinance boom is really what feeds notaries. Okay. Anytime rates are low and people are refinancing a lot, you're going to see a lot of opportunities for notaries to do loan signings. Now, when things slow down and there's a lot of notaries coming into the industry, you're going to see that, right? So it's not your fault. Don't beat yourself up. Still definitely, sign up with the signing services or whatever, but now is the time to start to try to build some direct business, because there's always an opportunity to go direct, right? You just have to make sure you position yourself, target your audience, and solve a specific set of problems for that audience. But direct business is where it's at. So either directly through your title companies or direct to attorneys is what I'm really encouraging everybody to focus on. And that's why it's so important for you to have a good understanding of, the basics of loan signings, but then also your pricing, because with the signing service, they're going to tell you you're going to negotiate. But with a title company, they may want you to, tell them right there on the spot, and you need to be able to know what your pricing needs to be, based on your profit and your expenses and everything like that. So just keep at it. But now, Urania, is the time to, build your title company database. Get into that class, marketing to title companies. I show you how to find them.
I did that, and they haven't responded. I need to send back a second email. A few have, but then they ask you how many signings you have. Have you had over such and such signings? And when you tell them you haven't, then some of them deny you, and it's like, okay.
Wait a minute, let me stop. We gotta celebrate. Did you say that you sent out some emails and you got some responses?
I got a few. And
really?
They've asked me how many signings have I done, and I don't want to lie to them. Like, okay, well, should I tell them? But then what if they actually check that? But most of them, they be wanting like you to have done at least 100 signings, and it's like, no, I haven't.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, being honest, obviously, is the number one rule of thumb. Tell them, hey, okay. I've only got a couple under my belt, but I'm extremely trainable and can customize my services to your needs. So just spin it real quick. Do you remember which email? Did you send more than one email before you got the response, or did you get some responses off that first one?
I try to do because I work during the day. And I can only really do stuff in the evening, so I try to send at least 10 a day.
Are you using your template? Are you using the templates that are in the class?
I use the what is it? The email campaign. I use that script.
Good. It's working. Good. Yeah. You just need it's just a numbers game from here. Yeah. It's just a numbers game, because it took me 592 emails to get one. Okay. All so right. If that's any kind of indication, just keep at it. But really, congratulations on taking action, getting some responses, even though they're not the ones that we like. And it's just going to be a matter of time that you're gonna find somebody. And don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop.
Okay.
Awesome. Wayne, did I get your question? Your hand is still up. Did you have another question or anything else you wanted to let us know? No? Okay. Sharon, the floor is yours.
Hi. I wanted to ask, in terms of marketing direct, I've tried a couple of different things, email and doing in-person pop-bys or drop-ins, whatever you want to call it. And I'm really such an introvert. So, you really can do well if you're an extrovert and you're real people-oriented. I am people-oriented. Don't get me wrong. I do love working with people, but I'm just wondering, the budget to be able to, I've heard and known of people doing a lot of different things, and the same thing may not work for everybody. I don't know, but sometimes I feel like if I'm going with gifts, I'm trying to bribe for business. And, they don't even know me. This is my first introduction. So, you know, you only get one chance to make a good impression, you know? And so I'm just wondering, you know, I don't know, what have you found in all your years of doing real estate, something that's really worked for you in terms of getting business, and when you've done direct, did anything like that work for you? What do you find has worked most for you? I'm just trying a variety of things, but I don't have a big budget to work with. I got to make money, you know, to be able to reinvest in my business. So I don't want to spend it all buying gifts.
Right. This is an excellent question, Sharon. And I will tell you the short answer is direct mail, and direct mail with handwritten return addresses and handwritten mailing addresses. Those pieces get opened. One thing I learned from Brittany's class about the gifts, when she worked in a title company, she said they were so busy, and while they appreciated the donuts and the cupcakes and things like that, they put on extra weight, right? Because people were constantly bringing things by. But she said what they really, really need is something quick, something that doesn't take up a lot of their time, that covers the bases. And so she showed us this executive folder, which is just a 2-pocket folder that she put her one sheet on one side and her pricing sheet on the other, and she was in and out. She says, if you can do that, if you could take this folder and make your rounds to those title companies and have that, and just let that be it, so you don't really have to spend a lot on gifting and things like that. She made that recommendation. But personally, what has worked for me, and the reason I have a $439,000 listing that I took and put on the market this week, is because direct mail, hands down. It's not volume. I only sent out 114 letters. Roxana hand wrote the return address. Again, it's all about highly targeting your audience. I targeted 114 people in a specific subdivision. I did that when I got my first commercial lead. Everything of significance has happened in my business, from transitioning from just a buyer's agent to a listing agent, or from residential to commercial. Anything big like that has happened for me has been as a direct result of direct mail. So I don't know how that will translate into the title company space. I think the title companies do appreciate seeing you. So maybe a little bit of both. But anybody else want to chime in?
I just wanted to add that the Postal Service does offer a direct mail marketing. I don't know much about it. My girlfriend works in that group, but the Postal Service does have that as an option if you want to check it out.
Okay, great. Thank you for the feedback.
Absolutely.
The
only thing I would be careful of if you did do direct mail is who was that? Was that Anastasia? Was that you? Who was that?
No, it's me, Antoinette.
Antoinette. When it comes to the post office's marketing, the whole reason that direct mail works is that it cannot look like junk mail. And when you go to the post office and you do their programs, they're going to barcode, print everything. The reason that this gentleman that I got this listing for opened my mail is because, number one, I used a greeting card envelope, and then it was handwritten both on the return address and on. So it takes a little bit more time. It's a labor of love. I did this with estate property when I was doing probate. I did this with commercial. I did this with everything. If you can pick 10 or 20 title companies and personalize your direct mail piece in a way that you can assure that it's going to get at least opened. And then once it's opened, then it's also important for you to have copy that speaks to their pain. Don't send them, hey, it's me, here's my card, I'm with the NNA. Have them open something that says, hey, on your if the next time you get your number one notary, your number one signing agent isn't available, I'm your girl. If you can do Ron, that's when you're telling them about that. So you're addressing what pain points they may have in your copy. So just keep that in mind. Personalization is very, very important. Yes, Margaret, you're up next.
Good evening, everyone. I took my exam Sunday for the loan signing course. I passed it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And now I'm going to do the NNA, and I'm waiting for the background clearance or whatever it is. And I'm hoping to be able to declare my my major by the 15th. That's my goal, to declare my major by the 15th.
So you are gonna try by the 15th. That is awesome. I know you were waffling back. Well, maybe I don't want to. Maybe I'll wait until January. So it's awesome that you are taking steps. See, you're moving things forward. So even if the 15th comes, and even if you change your mind, right? Look at how much it's pushing you to take those steps to get things moving. I am so impressed.
Yes.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Antoinette, your hand is up.
Hi. I just want to talk about the marketing part, and you talking about the sending out letters and that sort of thing. But I also want to add, we need to develop a relationship with the title companies, meaning that instead of, I mean, you still send out marketing and all of that, but they also want to develop a relationship with them and also networking with them and follow up. Once you send the information out there, follow up with them, develop a relationship with them. Instead of talking about notary, 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 just say, hey, how was your day? Or, you know what, I noticed you had something, something personal, but develop a relationship with the title companies, but they appreciate that. That's what I had learned a couple of days ago from a video I had watched. But that's one thing: marketing, networking, and developing a relationship.
Excellent. All of those very important things, for sure. Great advice. Anika is asking in the chat, is Ron available for Georgia? Amy mentioned it a little bit. I don't think technically, I think there's some kind of caveat. Amy, were you able to connect with a Georgia attorney to further that possibility for Georgia, Ron?
I left a message.
Well, you did your part, I guess. There was somebody here, because explain what you need to happen in Georgia before the Georgia Ron notaries can come on your platform.
Okay, so I have to have a Georgia attorney available for consult for any Georgia notary that does Ron. And they have to be available and responsive to offer advice on any transaction when it's occurring. So I have to have someone that's available and responsive to any Ron transaction while it's happening for a Georgia notary to be able to do Ron independently.
Wow. Okay. So
I had a signing a while back for a Georgia property, and it was kind of the same situation. Once we started the signing, I had to call the attorney, and they basically just sat on the phone on mute. And any questions that came up, the attorney would pop on and answer the question for the signer, because they are an attorney state. So the attorney just has to be available. How that'll work out for you, Amy, I have no idea. But
right?
Yeah, they just have to be available. They don't have to be physically present, but they have to be either on the Zoom call or on the phone or whatever.
But it's more than loan closings. In order for them to do Ron, that person has to be available for general notary work too.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's why I said I don't know how it's going to work out for you, because you're taking on so much more with that. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. And good luck.
Thank you.
So I tell you guys, Sheila, yes, go ahead. Your hand is up.
Yes, I want to ask Amy, is there some, because Alabama is not a run state. We are still a remote ink signing state. And I emailed the Mike Rogers the other day and told him my pains of this, remote ink. And since COVID is back on the rise again, we need to be like totally run. And so I'm going to follow up with the phone call. I'm telling you, when I want something, I can be persistent and bug the crap out of people. So I just want to know from your standpoint as a platform person, what exactly like do I need to be saying? And is there someone in particular that you can recommend that I like harp on or continue to like contact or whatever? Like, what does that look like from the platform? Like if they go run, like what's that look like? Like, how would that start?
So quite simply, I just need Alabama to say they acknowledge electronic signatures.
They actually do. And I'm glad she's from Alabama.
Yeah, but
not on the notary
law,
side.
it does not say electronic signatures. It says in-person ink signatures, so that it's Ren, not Ron. So
the client is remote, but the notary, they have to then send the documents to the notary to website.
They're using a pen. So they got to quit using a pen and they got to use their mouse.
Yeah.
So as soon as they can turn it into a mouse signature, an electronic signature, that turns it into Ron.
Right.
So that then turns the table and will open the doors to a whole lot of other opportunities.
So Sheila, it sounds like keep advocating, but the advocacy needs to be in the change of the verbiage in the law from wet signature to electronic. So I would get with my congressperson and I would find out what the law, cite the law, and I would see what the process, and it may be something, I don't know, how things work, that whole process, the political process is kind of foreign to me, but I know that, you have you have your state Senate and your House of Representatives, and you have representatives in each of those houses. So I would just start there, but I would find out what the law was, cite it, and then maybe make some type of a statement towards what can we do, how many names on a petition do I need in order to effect this change.
Okay. And I would go to your governor, because the governor actually issued it as Ron, but it's not Ron. By legal terms, it's not remote online notary, it's remote ink notary. And they phrased your bill incorrectly. So I would go to the governor and I would complain there. I would get a petition that they've interpreted that definition incorrectly and get it corrected.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a smart input, because if you tell them they interpreted it incorrectly, then it's more of an amendment versus a change, or it's more of an amendment than a new law that needs to be established.
Yes, and that could probably be quicker than a whole new law.
Correct.
Interprets. Thank you.
All right, good stuff.
And when you get it going, you give me a heads up that it's about to go, and I'll be ready.
You my first girl to call.
And make it, and look, Sheila, make your petition pretty. Whatever you do, make sure your petition is together and all whatever it needs to have on it, but make it, brand. I don't know if you want to brand it, because you kind of are putting yourself on the radar, and that could be a good thing, but it also could be a bad thing.
Right.
So
I would like to network with you too, since we're both. Are you in Birmingham, Alabama?
I'm in Anniston.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not too far.
No, it's like 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, who do we have up next? Jennifer, I love your hair. Where did you go? You disappeared. I got your question answered, I think, in the chat when you asked about using the email templates for direct mail. I think you could probably do that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
I don't think that'll be a problem at all. Wayne, yes, we will go ahead and talk about the Notary Nerds Network here in just a second. And I'll show you exactly what you need to do. There's a link I'll put in the chat that you'll need in order to sign up And those are only being sent to people who are active subscribers at Notary Nerd University. And without further ado, the lady who brought me this chair's hand is up. She got tired of looking at my old beat up chair, y'all. So Zara.
Hey, hey everybody.
And had a chair, you guys, in her trunk, okay? This is my new chair, everybody. And when I tell y'all, it has got the best, what do you call it, lumbar support?
Support, yes.
I got, what is this called? When you can bounce?
Bounce.
I got shocks.
That's a bounce.
Does it come with a masseuse?
That's the only thing is missing. And I called the warranty people today to see if they send me one. But
Great job, Zara. Great job, Zara.
Well,
Thank you,
y'all. But
Zara.
I know
I
he's gonna put me on blast. Thank you. I know he's gonna put me on blast. That's between me and you.
Okay, what's your question?
So my question is, I really want to get on this attorneys network, but I still don't have an email. So I'm not sure what I need to do. And last week you said you checked on me, and I don't know what's the update.
Okay, so
Or send me a link. What link are y'all talking about?
Yeah, so I am confused because I need to send out an updated email. So what I do is I get from Stripe all of my emails, all of the subscribers' emails, and I send out that mass email. So I'm just gonna do that again tonight while we're on this call, so you will get your link.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I can't show you all the Stripe customer information, so let me unshare my screen and go get it and resend that email out, because you're not the only one, and I apologize for the delay, but for whatever reason it didn't.
And then also I wanted to shout you out too, that your cover sheet was well put together with your prices and everything.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks to Brittany, because I mean, like I said, without that template, I would have been a hot mess. I wanted to respond in a timely manner, and I had hoped that she had filled out my survey. I provided a link for them to provide the answers that I was needing so that I could give them a quote, but that didn't work. She emailed me, how much are your da-da-da-da-da, and I had to immediately, first of all, correct. Like, I didn't know what to charge. I had no clue. So I went and got the pricing stuff opened up. But that right there, I think, you guys, is very important for us to think outside of the box. And this is one application. The attorneys just happen to be the best partner for a notary, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. I could be wrong. The other opportunity lies, I think, in the trucking industry. And what I'm saying to you guys is look for places where people have money coming in, but they're too busy to handle whatever it is they need to handle. That's where you can create a role, a title. You guys remember the notary permit runner class?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Cynthia, okay, Cynthia Notary. When she started Notary Permit Runner, there was no such thing. She ran into a situation. She needed a sign for her, a commercial sign. Somebody was going to charge her a crazy amount of money to pull a permit for the sign. She figured out how to do it, and voila, Notary Permit Runner was created. Virtual Notary Case Manager was created 2 days ago. Why? Same thing. This group has a problem. Here's how we can solve it. So you market yourself accordingly. Same thing with the transportation industry, guys. It can have applications in any industry. You might discover that veterinarians have a certain set of needs, that your trustworthiness and your pre-vetting and your all these things come in handy for. So you just have to really think outside the box. There's so many different ways that you can position yourself as a trusted professional. Remember, you have to step away from focusing on the stamp. You got to step away from focusing on the stamp. The stamp is good, but if you want to build a sustainable business, you're going to have to find a pocket that you can serve. Now, is that a virtual assistant? You throw notary on the top of it? Is it targeting attorneys? Is it targeting carriers, motor carriers, people who are driving trucks all day and they don't have time to deal with all this paperwork and they got to get stuff notarized and all these different things? You have to figure out who you're going to serve. And then that's when you're going to be able to carve out your own sustainable space. So let me find that Stripe list real quick. Any questions?
I had a question.
Go ahead.
For the virtual case management, I don't know if I came in on the right time, but with that, that's basically marketing. Like, is that more like a membership for attorneys, or how exactly are you going back with the? Because I agree. I saw your posting on Notary Nerds today, and that was an amazing one.
Yeah, that's a good
Pricing
question.
was great.
It's kind of new. Thank you. It's so new that I'm creating it as I go, but I'm basing it on I'm basing it on the pain that I know that they have, and I'm focusing on solo attorneys. So I know they don't have any necessarily staff people to help them do mobile hours, after hour, notarizations, right? So I'm capitalizing on my knowledge about their pain. So I know that. So I created packages that would accommodate at various levels. So attorneys deal in billable hours in increments of 1/10 of an hour. And I've been researching attorneys and paralegals. So I'm learning these things as I go. So I'm watching YouTube videos and I'm changing the verbiage on my one sheet. I'm listening and I'm watching them. So what I did was I took the pains that I know they had, which is their clients are out of the country sometimes. And even if they do have a staff person, nobody's going after hours to get stuff notarized. So I threw those two things in my package first and foremost, because those are two big pain points. The other pain point from my research is that they have to have a good case management system in place if they plan on growing their practice. And a lot of times they struggle with that. And I got that from researching and listening to YouTube videos from others explaining and teaching people how to become their own solo practice. So I took all of these little nuggets that I got from these videos and put the pain point issues into packages that could make sense for them or not. We'll see. But yeah, Amy.
So Monica, I got a question for you. When I look at the price breakdown, you say up to 20 notarizations for $2,000 a month. I'm curious as to what platform allows you to earn a profit off of that, because that's not much of a profit margin based upon an industry average.
Well, so what we have here is this $2,000 a month is actually three things. So they get case management up to 20 hours. They get 20 hours of mobile after hours notarizations, and they get 20 hours of remote online notarizations, excluding Ron. Now, the notaries that I have, this is not for loan signings. This is just for general notary work.
Gotcha.
So that's probably where the difference maker is. And then the Tennessee notaries have access to Notarize. And I think that's the platform that I got my pricing from, because I called Aretha and she actually, she confirmed for me that they charge for your own clients $8 for the KVAs or something, and then $3 for each seal. So based on that, we were able to come up with a pricing for general notary work that I could include. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bill the attorney should they take me up on this. I'm going to bill the attorney for this, and whatever they use of those 20 remote online notarizations, I'm going to turn around and pay directly to the Ron notary that I get to do it, if that makes sense.
It does, but I'd be interested to hear I'd be interested to hear more, only because the research I've done, that a general one stamp notarization for Ron is $13 to $15, depending on your platform. And if you used that algorithm with that, that's going to leave you with only $500, and you didn't use or in your terminology. So it's not an if and or, it's and that would lead me to believe that you're going to go negative, in my opinion.
Well, here's my spreadsheet. So how I came up and arrived with my pricing is by, and I'm gonna get to your emails, Zara, I haven't forgotten. How I arrived at my pricing was I started first with my time, right? I started my lowest package at 20 hours. I started my Ron notarizations. I put a quantity in, right? My numbers, I got with my Ron Notary to the one that's ready to go and determine, hey, what are your prices for general notary work, right? So I also put in my mileage, right, at 57 cents per mile. I assumed up to 300 pages black and white of printing. I threw in a couple of parking expenses, and then I came back and I added some things like a technology fee and that type of thing. And I came up and I looked and I said, well, what is this number? $2,334, right? You'll notice notarial acts, I've got 40, a quantity of 40, when I'm actually only gonna probably be doing up to 10 in this, I'm sorry, up to 20 in this basic package. So right now you're looking at the pricing of the basic package, right? So in that basic package, these are all of my inputs. These are all of my expenses. So I am assured profitability utilizing this methodology, so long as I stay within my 50 miles on my mobile, so long as I stay under 20, and I'm doing that purposefully in the package description. I'm saying, hey, look, if you do the $2,000 package, this is the number of RONs, this is the number of mobile after hour notarizations that you can do. So my profit really is kind of spread out a little bit over the course of the all of the inputs. And I could add, if I wanted to get a little healthy, if I wanted to make sure, I could, you know, add, I guess, buffer to each of these categories. But what I really wanted to do, because I want to establish a relationship, is I wanted to know what I needed to make in order to not lose money, right? And come up with a pricing for that. Because here's the thing, cash flow is everything. So I know for sure if they got 20 notarizations, I'm going to be okay because I can do those myself. I don't have to outsource those, right? They're paying me $2,000 and I'm going to work those 20 notarizations in throughout that 30-day window. So I'm not going to let those go beyond 120 miles. After 120 miles, I'm going to be charging extra for that, probably at $1 per mile. So I put parameters on each of the packages to make sure that I don't go in the red. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of the design.
Is that the price sheet that you're sending to the attorneys, or is that just for, you know, your purposes?
No, I actually sent that one to the attorney today, to the office manager, the bookkeeper. She was actually the gatekeeper. And so she was very, brief. She wasn't chatty at all. She just was like, give me your numbers. And I was like, okay, I will. So we'll see. This is new. We're in uncharted territory. Nothing like this is out there. So we're just gonna kind of see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Who else we got?
Wow.
Let me open up this. I'm doing Stripe now, Zara. So your email is coming here forthwith. Let me just. What other questions?
No rush, no rush. Ms. Monica, quick question. What is your alternate plan for us for year end?
Well, my ultimate plan for a lot of the Texas notaries, Tennessee notaries, and anybody else who I can get on Ron, is to create the signing service that I set out to create almost a year ago now. Creating cash flow by marketing to them, and bringing money to you guys. So for the third quarter, for September through December, I don't plan on getting any pieces of any of your money. I plan on bringing the business to you, seeing how much you can make. And then in January, I plan on developing that broker model for my notary business, meaning that I go market and I get a percentage of whatever you get coming through the door. So in other words, I'm going to be getting off of Facebook. I have been focusing on Facebook, using marketing. The cost per click is going up. You can't really scale very well. So YouTube is, I guess, where I'm supposed to be, but it's something I've never done before as far as running ads. I tried Google ads last year when we were doing YoPal, but YouTube is where, let me take my notes. I just took a training. YouTube is where there are 1 billion hours of YouTube watched every day. Wow. 18 to 49-year-olds, 80% watch YouTube in a given day. Okay. And 68% of people use YouTube to help making purchase decisions. So I've been spending thousands of dollars over the last several months marketing on Facebook for notaries. But when it comes to building this attorney pipeline, I'm going to have to get off of Facebook and I'm going to have to go to YouTube. And I've learned how to, hijack popular videos by having my ad appear on the in stream. I'm learning my technology. I'm learning my terminology rather. But my point is this: you asked the question. My goal is to develop income for you guys that you can rely upon and see value in. And then once we determine what that looks like in January, the model will be I'll get a percentage of that after it's been proven. So until then, all it's costing.
When you go do a YouTube video, you heard Miss Monica gave the stats on YouTube. Get on there.
Yeah,
my Lord.
I heard that, Zara.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got a couple of pages of notes. You know what I do, when I did ClickFunnels, I went in deep, right? I'm going in deep and it's paid off. I have generated over 790 leads from my first ClickFunnel. It's converting at about 0.5%, so it's not converting the best, but this is coming from someone who Memorial Day weekend didn't even know what a ClickFunnel was. So you guys, when I'm dropping these things, you guys can do the same thing. You can go and just shut down everything,
right.
My mom's calls for going to voicemail, my kids call for going to voice. Sometimes you really have to shut everything out in order to figure out what you need to do. But I'll be spending no more money on Facebook. My way to get the attorneys to come into my Notary Nerds network is going to be through the email marketing from the ABA stuff and from YouTube marketing.
Super. So your ultimate goal is for us to be working remotely with these law firms, and you're going to get us some income coming in.
Correct. And it's going to start with attorneys. And then when we find another group of people that we can be the hero for, be that truckers, be that daycare center operators, be that gun shops, whoever that we can find to be the hero for, we're going to be the hero for, but they have to have a steady stream of money. So we're not going to, unfortunately be able to target, businesses that aren't generating revenue at this time.
So I know that you're doing YouTube. So did you fall asleep on LinkedIn, or you still there, or what's going on with that?
I've got my LinkedIn set up because I know I'm going to be heavily vetted on LinkedIn. However, my only challenge with LinkedIn is I don't know how to advertise on LinkedIn. I don't know how to, and maybe that's going to be my next thing that I do the deep dive in, because Bill's book was great. But when it comes to real scale, like I don't want to be sitting posting stuff and writing blogs every day. Like I want to be able to put something kind of like on an autopilot where, okay, if I spend this much, I'm going to reach this and this number of people, and it'll allow me to, You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
ma'am. But I thought
that's
because
the
LinkedIn
goal.
was more a professional platform, I thought that more attorneys would be on there versus YouTube. But that's why I was just asking out of curiosity.
You're exactly right. There are more attorneys on YouTube more attorneys easy to find on LinkedIn. The difference with YouTube is I can go to Solo Attorney University's YouTube page. Okay, let me show you.
Got it. I see what you're saying now.
And I can hijack
They're more
their
targeted. Got
and
it.
get in front. You see what I'm saying?
And do
Now
a
I'm not on
spin on
LinkedIn.
it. Yeah, I got it. Okay. When you said that, I was like, okay, got it.
Yeah. Urania, yes, you have a question?
Yeah, okay, two questions. The sheet that you just showed us, that just varies from state to state, is that correct? Because what I found out for Kansas doesn't do any of that. You can't do remote, online, or electronic, but in Missouri, you can.
Got you. Yeah, this is just for this is for the state of Tennessee. What we're able to do. Yeah.
Okay. Then the second question I have is the trainings that we're taking is when it comes down to remote online notary, that is to teach us how to market, correct? Or because I'm hearing you say like you want to get a group of notaries and create business, but then once you get that niche, I forgot the last part you said, kind of like you get a percentage of that or something. It's okay. So I'm just confused now. Like, what's the purpose of the remote online training then? Like,
well, because the whole goal for you taking the remote online notarization training, if you can do it in your state, if you can't do it in your state,
I can.
then there's
Yeah, I can. In Missouri only though. Because I'm commissioned in 2 states.
Well, so the first reason that you want to take that training is, if you haven't taken it, is just so that you can know how to do a good job at it and know what to expect. So it really doesn't really necessarily have anything to do with what I have going on. It's just there for you to build your notary business. Now, I'm just like you guys. I'm building a business too. I'm building when I started, before I launched Notary Nerds in January, I had Complete Signings, which was my signing service. And Zara and Sebastian and about 13, 12 other people had signed up for me to help them find general notary work business through Google Ads. So that didn't work out well. Ended up pivoting into the Notary Nerd University space, but never let go of that business model. Why? Because I am a real estate broker by trade, and I see that opportunity to slap that model onto my Complete Signings. So we've got Notary Nerd University over here, and those classes, one of them is the Ron, that you can learn and grow your business from. But by mere association, Complete Signings is over here, who's trying to start their signing service that you could inadvertently benefit from just by association. Because if you're affiliated with the Notary Nerds Network, now I'm going to try to go get business, and I can turn to you guys and say, hey, I've got a signing, or I've got an attorney, or I've got this. So it's basically trying to help just add to your business.
Okay, I got it. And as far as LinkedIn, is any of you using that and paying them? Because for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I talk to them and each his own. But it's LinkedIn for me is not worth it because they charge you per ding. Like if somebody dings your page, they charge you whatever they're charging, whatever you signed up for, regardless of whether that person is using your service or not. So let's say like they can click on your page just to look at your ad, right? Just to look at what you have to offer. But they may be just looking, but they're still, LinkedIn is still going to charge you that price just for them clicking on your page. I said, no, that's okay. Because I seen another lady in a group that used them and she's in debt with them $13,000 and she wasn't even, and she wasn't even getting half of the business that she thought she was going to get. Now, for some people, it works. For some people, it worked, and they were paying you know, each time the ding was whatever, but they would be getting the notary work. And there was a few people getting in debt with that. So all I'm saying is I'm not trying to discourage anybody, just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful.
Yeah, rule of thumb too, for everybody that's listening, when you do start to market either on YouTube or on Facebook or on LinkedIn, have a separate account specifically for those entities. Okay, open up an account specifically under your business for just for those marketing mechanisms. Because I can tell you this, I'm seeing charges come through on my account from Facebook that don't match up with my my invoices. That, you know, when I request to do an ad, something's funny there. So I'm in process of doing an audit, and I've got a bookkeeper that's going to be helping me out with that. But my point is this: when you're starting to market seriously and you're spending $600 and $300, when you've moved on from the $20 and $40 spend, have a separate card, because what they'll do is they will just charge that joker, right? And there's not a whole lot of customer service. You can't really call anybody. It's like a process. You got to email and upload and do all of these different things to be able to get your money situated. So when you do start marketing, make sure you use a separate account.
Sound like a winner.
All right, so for those of you guys who are like Zara and waiting on that Notary Nerds Network email, I just downloaded all of the updated emails from Stripe, and I'm gonna go over there now and resend out the email to everybody. So who's got next? Let me see who's got their hand up. James in the house. How are you, James?
Good. How is everyone?
Good.
Hey, so I'm going to back up a little bit to the marketing. You had made a comment about being the hero and solving problems for our customers or clients. So a backstory is I have a friend who actually works for a marketing company called Story Brand, Dr. JJ Peterson. And I've had one-on-ones with him, which costs quite a bit of money for other folks that do it, FYI. So when we talk about money and spending, but he's really got some insight to this. So the way he's been talking about positioning the marketing, they talk about in their framework, flipping that script, making your clients the hero, and then you being the guide. I don't know how that resonates with anybody.
I like that.
So they do have a simple, they created a book called Marketing Made Simple. It's available on audiobooks as well. His boss is Donald Miller. He's written numerous books that have been on the #1 bestseller list out of the New York Times. And, you know, they do everything from small businesses all the way up to huge corporations. And they do these workshops and that, but, you know, they do the same type of thing that you kind of do, is they have these little webinars free to gather leads and get people to buy into their framework and all that. But what keeps resonating with me is that we can't be the hero. We need to solve their problems, but make them feel more validated or more in control of the whole situation is the way I'm seeing it. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, I really love that take on it, because when they're the hero and then we're the guide, it's all about how you make people feel. I think that's the key in business of people doing business with you, is that they feel good about doing business with you. And if you make someone feel like they're the hero and that you're there to kind of help them win, then I can see that being an excellent strategy. So I'm glad you shared that. Jennifer, your hand is up. It's got, oh yeah, it needs to.
Of course, as soon as I need to start something, my son gets me something. But I guess my only main question was for the network that you are putting up for Notary Nerds to be able to be advertised to attorneys. Is that strictly just for Ron? Because I'm in California and we don't do Ron. So that's like
Great
for
question.
any attorneys, or just?
It's going to be for any attorneys. However, because of those pain points, I am putting Ron in the mix. But what's going to happen for those of you guys who are in the network who don't have Ron, what's going to happen is you guys are going to be promoted from a mobile evening perspective. So their other pain point was, you know, when their staff or if they're after business hours, they don't really want to go hunt thumbtack for a mobile notary. So by having access to this directory, but then what that means for you guys that don't have Ron is that you're basically probably going to be getting calls to do mobile notarizations after hours up until maybe 9 o'clock your time, right? So, but that's the workaround for that. And I'm also promoting the virtual notary case manager as well. So with you not having the Ron, you would be doing the mobile evening signings and possibly get an opportunity to be trained to provide some case management support to attorneys. So we'll see what happens.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Amy, your hand is up.
I wanted to throw in a compliment for Aretha, your Ron classroom. I wanted to let her know I attended her class and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay, and not only did she provide a lot of insight and information, but when she didn't have answers for me, she didn't sugarcoat it. She told me, I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up, and that is. That's invaluable when it comes to training. So I wanted to definitely put a plug in for that. I did enjoy that class, and I wanted to do that. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, Aretha is really awesome. I'm so glad in October when we first met, because she signed up for the signing service, hoping to be able to get some direct business. And I'm just really thankful that, you know, she's been a part of this, because she does exactly what Amy said. She won't tell you what she doesn't know. And then like at the mock loan signing this weekend, she wanted to make sure we understood and we were able to see what the signer saw, what we were gonna see. And so she really is concerned about you doing it right. So I definitely will let her know, Amy. Thank you for that. What's up, Andrew the cat? You finally came back to us, buddy. You finally came back to us, buddy. He's such a sweet boy. You can tell he runs the roost. Okay, so let me get back to my export over here. What else? Anybody else? Sebastian, I haven't heard your voice. Where are you?
I'm here.
Oh my goodness, and Sweet B is on the call. You know I'm coming to you next, B. Sebastian,
Oh, B.
B is back.
Girl, yes. Hey, Sebastian.
Sebastian, what's
Hey,
going on
Zara.
in your world?
Oh, not much. Just chugging along as usual. Staying
You've
busy
been
at
quiet
work.
on us, man.
Trying to pick up some signings after 5. So that's about it over here.
Well, I'm just glad that you are here. You know, as usual, you just are just a breath of fresh air anytime you are here. I hate that one time the snafu where we couldn't get everybody on that one day. I missed you that day, that Wednesday.
Wow. Well, how come I'm not hearing no notarized praise report, Sebastian? What's going on, man?
I really have been focusing on my job just because it's gotten busy. So
okay. Got it.
At a time, but it's definitely something I have to start looking into, like seriously, really getting on looking into. So you should be getting a report soon.
Okay, so super.
Hey, I love it. What else we got, guys? What else is going on? Anybody got anything exciting they want to share?
I had my interview with Pennsylvania today.
Oh, how was that?
It was awesome. They were fantastic. I enjoyed it so much. And also, I passed the Arizona electronic notary with 97%.
So you had to take the exam yourself in order to do the platform in that state?
Wow. I do my demo with them tomorrow. So I am like on cloud 9 today. I've had a bottle of wine, just saying.
Love it. Okay, so how many states does that make it now, Amy, that you have under your belt as far as the platform for Cyberizing?
Okay, so we have 16 that we're open in right now. I've interviewed with Missouri, Pennsylvania. Tomorrow is Nevada, and Monday is Indiana. I'm waiting to hear back from Michigan. I'm waiting to hear back from North Carolina. The question is out for New Jersey because I don't see any stipulation where they have to approve it for their October release. But I have someone looking into that for me. So we are moving forward. I am every day, new state, new challenge, right?
Right.
So as soon as I hear back, at this point, I'm waiting to hear back from Michigan, Kentucky, and North Carolina.
Girl, you are about to take this thing all the way over. I just have such good feeling about it. It's just going to be one of those things that after it gets, because with everything you have to have give yourself that time to be able to get everything figured out, and you almost don't want to go too big too quick. Like I remember I wanted like there to be like 1,000 people at Notary Nerds. Oh my goodness, that would have been a nightmare. Why? Because I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not organized. I don't have all the everything in a seamless kind of a structured way. So there's a benefit to growing slowly, right? Especially like in your space, because your space is technology ridden. Like you've got to give your technology kinks time to work themselves out before you get too big. So I just love to hear that, you know, you got the 16 and you're adding things on, and it's gonna do big things. I already know it is.
Well, thank you. And I actually had a meeting with my developer today, and we're just going to remove some areas of confusion, irritation would be the comment. Not that it is a hang up or interprets the outcome in any way, but we are also going to update some phrasing so it clarifies things. But other than that, there's no functionality issues with our platform, which is awesome.
That is dope. That is so sweet. So no big change, no big technological setbacks, no security issues. It's just a matter of just little verbiage and little annotations here and there to make sure everybody understands clearly what they're supposed to understand.
Exactly. And then next week, I hope to have the official guidance from Adobe that we'll be releasing our press release, hopefully beginning of August, with the terminology or the I want to call it a type partnership that we have with Adobe Sign and Zoom Communications for the platform.
Oh yeah.
So that should make a huge difference on the platform itself. And hopefully big media picks it up. So those are my big wins for the week, and I'm excited. And I actually have a meeting with a title agency. If I win them, I will pull them from notarize.com. Don't tell them, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I can tell you one thing, competition is a great thing. I'm not mad at competition. Competition makes all of us better, in my opinion. And it just tightens the game up and it makes it better. And the way you're coming in with this platform with that twist, you know, on the notary being kind of the focus, is kind of I feel that, because that's kind of how I want the signing service to be, because there is none that there's no signing service that focuses on the notary right now. So I knew coming in, and in my mind, being the hero for the notary would be beneficial as a business model, because nobody was taking care of the notary. You're taking care of the notary. Anybody who takes care of the notary wins, because nobody's doing that right now. So that's the whole thing, is this industry is wide open for those who take care of the notary. Nobody does. Nobody cares about the notary. Notary is like the bottom of the totem pole. And somebody told me not to use that term. The notary is the bottom of the barrel, so to speak. And nobody really cares. The signing service doesn't care. The title company doesn't care. Signers don't care. Nobody cares, right? So by you coming in and developing a platform that had the notary, because you're a notary, at the forefront of your design, it's going to pay off it's going to pay off so big. Because again, when you're at the front of the, what do you want to call it, the S curve on something new in an industry, which is taking care of the notary, you're going to be rewarded greatly. I think I am. I think anybody else who does it will be. So
I totally agree. And I'm going to throw this in the last minute here is it isn't even a matter of opinion. The buck stops with the notary. That is state law, any state. The buck stops with you. It doesn't matter what kind of transaction you're in, whether it's a loan signing, whether it's in person, whether it's RIN, whether it's IPEN, or whether it's RON. The buck stops with the notary. It's your meeting, it's your control, and you are the one in power. It doesn't matter who you're with. And you all, every single one of you on this session need to know that the buck stops with you, because at the end of the day, it's your name on that document. You have to attest that it was done legally, lawfully, and with full intention of that person. If you put your name on there and it's incorrect, that's wrong. If you put your name on there just to get out of the situation, that's wrong. You need to stand up for yourself, whatever service you're with, whatever type of service you're providing, and realize the buck stops with you. And at the end of the day, you're the one in power. And I want everyone to know that. And I'm off my soapbox. Thank you.
no, but that's it. I think that's the thing. And because we've been at the bottom of the barrel so long, I think we do need to be reinforced with that reminder that we are the powerful ones. You get to decide whether or not the will gets signed at the assisted living home with all the siblings there and everybody's, you get the room divided on, over here you got 2 or 3 siblings and over here you got 2 or 3 siblings, and you get to decide whether or not hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, or even millions of dollars worth of assets get transferred that day. That's a big damn deal. Like, and let's not even start talking about the commercial signings that we haven't even started to even talk about, right? There are multiple millions of dollars worth of transactions that you're touching, especially those of you who are loan signing agents. When you're doing these refis for 250 and 300 and that's millions of dollars a week in assets that you are responsible for transferring from one place to another. And if without your stamp, it wouldn't happen. So it's a huge, huge deal who we are. And we need to just kind of own that and step in that a little bit. All right, so I am.
James, can I just chime in on that? I had a scenario that actually falls under what Amy had just said last week. It was a HELOC closing. It was for $500,000, and as we were reviewing the documents, we get to the mortgage document, we realized that the wife's name was still in the maiden's name, so the title was still in the wife's maiden name. So it just happened to be I was in the bank that wrote the loan, brought it to their attention. They called the back office, talked to the closer, and she asked her manager, and her manager said that she would just have one of her employees notarize it. I would have notarized the rest of the packet. Hairs on the back of my neck went up. I'm like, I can't do that. Then the supervisor got on the line with me and read me the riot act, and then threatened to have my commission pulled for not doing what the right thing was. Oh yeah, keep going. It gets better. So she's trying to. So I asked what her notarization commission number was. She's not a notary. I asked what her NMLS number was. She doesn't have one. I'm a little, at this point now, infuriated because of what was happening. And then she starts accusing me, well, she's not even in the same room as me, is talking to her that way in front of her customers, which turned into me apologizing and having to leave the closing. So what Amy had said, folks, the buck stops with us, and there's no question about it. And you have to have the tenacity and the
strength,
guts, the strength to know when you're in a situation that's going to put you in trouble, make trouble, and you know it's going to go into a lawsuit, to walk away with being as professional and as polite as possible until you get to the parking lot. And every word and every ounce of your anger will probably come out. And it's exactly what it did, because it was one of those situations where You know, I know what the right thing is to do. And that's where experience comes in. And if you're ever in that situation, if you want my cell phone number and you need to be talked through something like that, to know if it's the right thing to do, call me day or night, because I don't want to see anybody get in trouble for someone else's actions.
Okay, I need your
Unethical,
number.
unlawful actions.
Now, I need your
Right.
number because I haven't experienced that yet. And, you know, I take this notary thing seriously, you know, because I'm not trying to be behind no oing shoot. I'm not trying to be going to prison behind something that's, you know, misdocumented or any of that. So, and I'm kind of glad in a way. I've only had a few so far because I've had a sale, you know, just a regular application and a refinance so far. So I'm glad I haven't had a whole lot because I really want to see like what I'm doing, you know, and making sure I'm doing doing it right. So far, I haven't had any complaints. But when you just shared that right there, oh yeah, that's an eye opener. That's an eye opener.
It takes guts to walk away and to rise to the top, because Monica alluded to it, and I want to make sure everybody understands it. There's hundreds and millions and billions of dollars a year in real estate transactions that happen because of us. And if we are put into a situation unknowingly or knowingly, it's two different things, folks, but unknowingly, you have documentation to back up your story. Knowingly, if I went through with that and knowing that what could possibly, the worst outcome could have happened, a year from now, I wouldn't even be a notary.
Right.
That would be the whole thing. So my phone number is in the chat, folks, save it. And this is 20 years worth of banking experience in the operations. And I don't let anybody bully me. That's the biggest thing when it comes to these transactions, because it is your job and your livelihood.
Amen to that. And whoever don't like it, they just don't like it, because they're not going to be the one called or subpoenaed in the court if something goes awry. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So the email, yes, Dorothy, Zara just sent out the email. You should have one in your inbox. Dorothy Renee.
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to share an experience that I had on Tuesday. I went to a refi signing, and the elderly man gave me his 2 forms of ID. And when I looked at it, his driver's license had expired last year in August. And so I told him, I said, I cannot accept this form of ID because it's expired. Do you have anything else? And he said, no, this is all I have. So I had to call the company, and I told them, you know, what was going on. I told them I had to stop the signing. And they said, well, as long as it was issued within the last 5 years, you should be okay with that. And I said, no, in Alabama, we can't do that because I can get in trouble. So they said, well, let us call somebody else at the title company and we'll call you back. So I hung up and I called my coach, and I said, was I right? She said, yes, because you could be sued civilly if you signed off on everything using that expired driver's license if something was to come back. So they called back and they still kept trying to get me to do it. And I told them, no, I couldn't risk my commission for that. So they had to cancel it. And they told me they would give me a trip fee. So now they put it back out there. I didn't realize when I accepted it that it was the same one. I called them. I said, hey, has he got a new ID? Well, we don't know. I said, okay, I'll call him myself. So I called him back and I said, if you don't have your new ID by Saturday, I will not be there to sign your documents because I cannot. So he's working on trying to get his new ID.
Good for you, Dorothy. Now that's the kind of power that you have. You know, people don't know the law, the notary laws, like we know the notary laws, and nor should they. But Dorothy didn't let anybody strong arm her into just doing it. Now, trust and believe, every day somebody is strong arming a new notary. A title company saying, just do it, okay? A title company's, you know, and then some of the newer notaries, maybe they don't know that they have that power and they might go ahead and do it. But, you know, The title company is not going to pay for the defense if something were to happen. Maybe nothing does happen. Maybe they get away with it. But in the event that they don't, and something ends up happening 5 years later, 10 years later, then that's it. So it's just not worth it. Jennifer, you got your hand up?
Yes, because I have an experience too. This actually happened last month. I think it kind of caused my signings to decrease with a national title. Like, I don't know if you guys heard of Service Link where you are, but I had a signing. I'm just warning everyone to be careful when it comes to languages. Even if people are hard of hearing or considered deaf, that's a language and they need accommodation as well. I had a signing. I tried to, what do you call it? I tried to confirm the signing with the lady. I couldn't get in contact with her. When I finally did get a phone call, the phone was a relay service or a translation service. On the phone, I even asked the lady, like, hey, are you hard of hearing or, will you need accommodation? Nope, I'm fine. I don't need a translator. Okay, so I get to the appointment. We were at a bank, and the lady comes in, and she had a mask that has the see-through part where you can read lips. And this was only for a like a home equity signing. And so I began the presentation. She's like, "Oh, I can read your lips," and immediately I call it my notary senses, or it started tingling like a spidey sense. I'm like, I don't know about this. She's like, "Oh no, it's fine. I can just read your lips," and I'm like, according to my notary law, I have to be able to directly communicate with you. And if I can't communicate with you directly, we have to make some type of accommodation. I'm sorry. She's like, "Oh no, it's fine. I understand." So I go to put the lady under oath. And I'm like, I'm not, one second, baby. I go to put the lady under oath. She doesn't understand what I'm saying. And I'm like, I gave her the oath because I have the card at the time. She's like, "Oh no, I don't. I was like, well, I have to put you under oath. And at that point, she's like, "I can just sign. I've done this before. Another notary did it for me before." And I'm like, "Ma'am, I have to call someone because this, I just don't feel comfortable." She gets up and storms out. Like, she is furious and she leaves. And I sit there for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And understandably so. I mean, I understand if you might be hard of hearing. There might be people who, just dismiss you. I've done this before. I can totally understand what you're saying. Long story short, I called the title company and they're like, "Oh no, we didn't even know she was needed accommodation. That should have been something that was stated on the order instead of just assigning it." And I left a voicemail for her. Even the lady who was the translator, she's like, "Yeah, I can see how you would," because she had to relay the message. Like, "I can see how you could, want someone else to come and help her." A week later, I get a call from the title company, and they're like, "So this is going to be escalated to the ADA because you basically refused to accommodate her services, and this is getting gone up the chain. And why didn't you call us?" I'm like, no, I did call you all. I called you while I was there at the table. She got up, she walked out, and I also sent an email as well. I was like, honestly, and I started it off by saying, according to the California State Secretary of State, who I answer to, I'm unable to perform any notarial services with someone that I cannot directly communicate with. And that includes people who need accommodation because sign language is a language. If this person, take the sign language out or the hard of hearing, if she spoke Spanish, if she spoke Mandarin, I can't directly communicate with this person. So if I can't directly communicate with her, we need to be able to make an accommodation for her so she can get the service that she deserves. Lady was livid. I mean, she was like, "You should have called us while you were there at the table. Why didn't you?" I'm like, "Ma'am, I called you and even told the lady I was calling while I was there at the table." "Well, this is unacceptable." It's like, I totally understand your frustration, but there's not much I could have done because, again, that's my notarial certificate, my commission that's on the line if I'm, found guilty. Well, this is getting sent to the ADA. My sign has been down considerably with them for that whole month of July. It just started giving some, so obviously it got worked out in the back, and I haven't heard anything since. But with that, again, even if a person speaks to a different language and, "Oh yeah, I understand," if you feel like they aren't, being able to communicate with you directly, just stop the signing. Because they could easily be like, "Hey, did you sign this?" "Oh, I didn't even know what they were talking about," and that comes back and bites you on the fanny.
Excellent.
I'm just, as a warning, please be aware of that.
And there was a consequence to her standing her ground with regard to not
Yeah.
doing that signing. She saw a reduction in her signings because, you know, whoever it was pissed off, even though, you know, she might have had the law on her side, they still were ticked off about it. And so they just, you know, they retaliated by not necessarily probably costing as much as they would. Oh, well, because at least now she has a peace of mind knowing that she doesn't have to worry about 5 years from now when the kids are getting ready to go to college, somebody coming and knocking on her door saying, oh, by the way, you remember that notarization of the lady that you weren't able to communicate with directly? That whole situation is under litigation and we need your journal. So it's not worth it, folks. That's why you just need to create all these different multiple streams of income so not all of your eggs are in one basket. So great story. Okay, what else we got? Let's see here. Anything in the chat that I've missed? Got the email, oh, Wayne asked me earlier. Wayne, you should have, if you haven't gotten the email, you should have gotten an email. The folks, okay, so if you're
I got it, Ms. Monica. I appreciate you. I received it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. The people who are getting this email are paying $37 a month. If you're not paying $37 a month, then you're not getting this email. That's why you haven't gotten it. If you're wondering, hey, why didn't I get the email? See, what I did is I just went and pulled all of my Stripe customers. Those are people paying $37 a month, right? I pulled all of my Stripe customers and I sent those over to the request to do the Notary Nerds Network. Why? Because I've got to invest. Some of you guys have a complimentary membership at Notary Nerds because you're either serving as a moderator or something to that effect, right? Well, even those people are not being allowed onto Notary Nerds Network platform. Only people that have a $37 a month subscription. Why? Because I have to pay to get the database of attorneys set up. I've got to pay for the market. I got to pay for this. So my reward for those who are paying into Notary Nerds University is for those of you to be the first ones to benefit from those marketing efforts. So that's kind of what that looks like. So, and if I were you, I would just probably wait. If you're not a member of Notary Nerds University, I would wait till January, see, unless you needed some classes, but I would wait till January, see if people make any money, and then sign up. But it won't be $37 a month then, because if they're making money, then I'm going to base the value add off of the money that they've made. So I have a very big incentive September through December to see you guys make as much money as I can help you make. So I need you to decide what platforms you're going to be on for those of you who are on. I need you to get very good and proficient in being on those platforms and still do your own marketing. I'm an extra. Don't just depend on, oh, well, Monica's going to have me covered. No, that's not this. Monica's out here trying something new and she's going to do her best to bring you business, but you still want to begin building your own. Okay. So Wayne, to answer your question, you should have an email. That email is going to direct you to come into the Notary Nerds Network, which looks just like this. Let me share my screen. You're going to be asked to, it's going to show you how to create a profile. There's a little video, 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes. It shows you where to click, go to settings, how to set up your profile. Once you've done with that, you're going to go to this next module, which is telling us which 3 cities that you want to get attorneys out of. Your email will self-populate. You'll put your first and your last name. Only put the city. Don't put city and state. Just put the city number 1, your city number 2, and city number 3, and then put the state in its own field, and then tell us if you're a remote online notary. We still will get more information from you, but we just want to know who's who from the beginning. And then from there, you go to the next module, and that's the profile best practices. In order to make sure everybody's membership profile is easily searchable, we need consistency with the way that you complete your city, state, and zip. We don't need you to punctuate CA for California. We need you to say California. Because when we go to the membership directory and I go to location and I search California, I get all the California notaries. But as you can see, some people have abbreviated, and we want to make this easy for the attorneys. So we want them to be able to search one time, and we're going to instruct them on how to search. And that instruction is going to include, type out the entire city. So if I type in CA, as you can see here, I get CA because I don't know why Larisha came up. I don't know why Adrian came up, but I see Angel came up. She abbreviated California. Linda came back up because she's got C and she spelled it out. But then I also got Chicago. You see what I'm saying? So the instruction in the profile best practices module, which is the last one I just clicked on. You go back to it. Profile best practices. Just read and follow the instructions on how to best set up the profile for the best, easiest searching for the end user. The end user is the attorney. Basically what they're going to see is this page, and I've been playing with the color of the font. I'm trying to stay on brand with my colors. So it doesn't necessarily read the best in red, but black doesn't, for whatever reason, I don't know, I might try going back to black. But anyway, this is gonna be the page that they see, the attorneys. This is the beginning of the sales funnel, the attorney marketing funnel. Any sales funnel has to have what we call a free opt-in, something that you give for free, either access or a download or whatever. This is gonna be that for the attorneys that I'm marketing to. They're gonna leave from watching my YouTube video or opening up my email and be directed to come to here, enter their name, email, and bar association number, and then start searching for notaries. And they're gonna call you guys based on your contact information as it's available from the link. So let's just check that out real quick. Anastasia, I'm about to pick on you. I wanna click on your link. Let's see what happens. Uh-oh. And I get a lot of that. The page isn't available link. I'm gonna go ahead and log in so that it gives me an opportunity to click. But let's see what happens when I click. I'm on my desktop, obviously. So I'm gonna click on Instagram on a desktop, and it should take me to at least your profile page. And it's thinking about it. And something is, so we want to resolve and go through and check and fix all of these things before we roll it out September the 1st. And that's why the August the 1st deadline has been put in place. So we got something going on there. Let's see, Antoinette's on the call. Let's see what's going on with, again, page link isn't available. So the best way to get the correct link to your Facebook page is to go to the page. And then at the top, you should have a more, actually, let me go here. It's a share, the 3 dots. And I think this is the same across the board, regardless if it's a personal Facebook or business Facebook, but there's a share link. You click that and then go down where it says copy link. That's the link that you want to use when you set up your social link. Okay. Is the one that you get directly from your page. And then usually you can get it from those 3 dots. But Wayne, did that answer your question on how to sign up? Okay.
Yes, I'm in.
Perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Jennifer, your hand is still up. Did you have another question? All right, and then I got Wayne and Tamika, your hand is up. You're next.
Hey, I had left a message earlier in the chat, but okay, so my dilemma is we're like in the process of selling our house. So we're going to be moving like within the next, hopefully by the September-ish timeframe. So will we have a chance to edit our information? Like,
oh, absolutely. Yes, for sure. Yeah. You can go in and update your profile at any time. So that won't be a problem at all. So feel free to go in and update and edit it anytime.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. James at Notary Hero, you're up.
Just to back up to the subscription, was in the $97 plan, and when you changed up the pricing, I thought it changed over to the 37, but obviously something's not right if I'm not getting that email. I guess we could take a look at that later down the road. We don't need to take up time now to do it, but
Yeah, I'll get on that first thing in the morning. And what we probably did is, in order so it wouldn't keep charging you in the 97, we sent out a couple of emails to let everybody know, hey, the pricing has changed, but then by the end of June, if you hadn't changed your pricing on your own, we didn't want it to keep charging you, so we probably canceled your subscription because we didn't want to.
Story of my life.
Yeah, I'll look into it tomorrow and see for sure, and we'll get it all figured out. And I'll ask you what you want us to do, and we'll do it. So we'll get that squared away.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Claire.
Hi, I just wanted to make mention that I posted in the Facebook page about the free Ron training by Notarize this weekend. It's going to be July 30th.
I signed up.
From 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time for those interested.
Nice.
So the details are all there. There will be a recording made and it'll be sent out after the training, but you have to register through the link, and the link is on the Facebook page.
Very nice. And so this is what kind of training are they doing?
This is regarding the new features on Notarize, some of the updates and new features, and so they just want to kind of get everybody who's interested in the platform to understand what's going on and what the features are, and whatever questions you may have. The training will be conducted by onboarding specialists, and they'll be there to answer all the questions.
I'm not mad at it. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
When did you say that was? I missed it. Sorry.
It's July 30th, this weekend.
And where?
It's going to be online as a Zoom. You have to, there's a link on the Facebook page, and it's from 2 to 3 Central Standard Time in the afternoon.
That's not bad. It's just an hour.
Yeah, it's just an hour. It may go over a little bit with questions, with Q&A, but yeah.
Is there any other way, to access it besides Facebook? I don't have Facebook yet.
I'll post it in the chat. Give me a second. And you can copy it.
I'm finding that a lot to be the case. I'm finding that a lot of people, those of us who are on Facebook a lot, I think by default, we just assume the rest of the world is on Facebook every day, like we are. But I'm finding more and more people are finding us on YouTube, and they don't necessarily have Facebook accounts and stuff like that. So that's kind of an interesting thing, because like I say, I'm so involved in Facebook that I just assume, oh my gosh, everybody does. But there's a whole host of people who don't even have a Facebook account, believe it or not, that we need to keep at the forefront of our minds when we start marketing. So I just think Facebook marketing, I've been doing it for several years. I thought I finally figured it out this year, but I'm spending more money than my YouTube ad counterparts are spending and getting not the same results. So I'm about to get all about YouTube, and I encourage you guys, here's the deal. You have to, if you hear me talking about something and it sounds like maybe it shouldn't apply to you, it does apply to you, right? So when I start talking about developing ads on YouTube, and I don't know if you guys watch the YouTube channel, the Notary Nerd YouTube channel, but when you first start watching a video, I'll show you. There is usually another notary advertisement right before my video starts, and that's not by mistake. What that advertiser is doing is they are checking out, they're putting in keywords into YouTube, and they're seeing what channels come up, and YouTube will allow for you to put your ad in front of the channels that you want to put your thing in front of. So in the case of the Notary Nerds channel, when I watch a video, all right, so let's just pick a video. When I click on how to join the Notary Nerds network, watch what happens.
Are you looking for a well-paying side hustle as a notary? Notaries are paid on the spot. And
hold on, let me do it, share my screen first. So when I'm talking about doing these things, you can do them too for your own personal sales funnel. You can create a YouTube video too. It's just a matter of you know, going through the motions and whatnot of learning how to do it. But check this out. I'm gonna click on a video and I want you to see who's advertising on my video. After you've registered at Notary. Okay, it didn't do it. Hey, Notary Nerd. Let me try this one. After you, okay, I think you have to do it from a very beginning one. Let me try this one. Put it on this computer. Okay, well, not all of them do it, but there was a notary advertisement that popped up on one of them. And I was starting to put everything together. Oh gosh, I talk so much. Either way it goes, I was trying to show you, but I can't. My point is you can still do the same thing. You can actually do a video with your phone. The training that I just took from a gentleman took a YouTube video from his phone, not really high tech, and it generated $29,000 in revenue for him that month on a $1,635 spend. Okay, I've spent that much on Facebook in a given month and not gotten that kind of a return, right? So the reason is because there's a lot of advertisers on Facebook. Everybody and their grandmama is on Facebook boosting posts, and we see sponsored ads in our news feed, right? But on YouTube, there's only 9% of businesses advertising. So even though you might feel like a small fish, and you're like thinking to yourself, "Oh my gosh, I can't market on, I can't do a YouTube ad. I'll just spend 20 bucks and 40 bucks on Facebook and see how it goes. Or maybe I'll do some stuff on LinkedIn and see how it goes." Just keep in mind that Google and all of the researchers have already determined that people go to different social platforms for different reasons. They go to YouTube to learn, and they are in a decision-making mode when they go. When you go to YouTube, you are going to learn something pretty specific, find out something, maybe look at some reviews, but you're in decision mode. Because why? You're in learning mode. When you're on Facebook, you're not in learning mode. Those are what you call, you know, what are those called? Purchases, those knee-jerk purchases. That's a Facebook situation. Instagram is a whole different psychology. So you have to understand that YouTube is, in fact, the place where people are going to make buying decisions. So don't feel like you're a small business and you're just getting started. Your video could be something as simple as, are you looking for a mobile notary? Or when's the last time you try to find a notary, could you find them? Well, I'm your person, and 2 minutes in and out, you're appearing in front of, you can set it up to appear in front of a channel that's got lots of viewers in a legal field. So don't feel like that YouTube is 6 months down the road for you, okay? If you could take this advice, go ahead and start to learn about it now. Just go to YouTube ads, Google YouTube ads. They have a nice little tutorial. I just went through it myself. While I was on Facebook is the gentleman, you might want to look him up. I just took his training. His name is, hold on just a second and I'll get you guys his name. Matter of fact, I think I might still have one of his screens pulled up. Let me see.
What is the day in the life of Monica Wilder?
It's
I
talked to a pastor this morning about agriculture and planting food. I talked to people about real estate, and I talked to notaries about, so it's all this hodgepodge. And in the midst of all that, I let the dogs go out and go potty. So it's kind of like one of those hodgepodge type situations. But let me see if I can't find that gentleman's information, because that's where I would start.
So Monica, while you're searching for that, I think the word you were looking for is impulse buy or candy
Impulse.
aisle.
Yeah, Facebook is the impulse buyer. You don't log into Facebook ready to buy a notary program. No, okay.
Yep. You're in there just to socialize.
Correct. So I've been spending my ad dollars exclusively on Facebook. And what I learned today from this gentleman, Alaric Heck, and his ad outreach team, he gives you all of his credentials. He's very well qualified to talk about what he's talking about. He's been doing this for 10 years. He showed us all of his receipts. So it prompted me to sign up for his training, because guess what? It wasn't Facebook, it was YouTube. I was watching an ad about paralegal services, trying to learn more about the back office. His ad popped up asking me if I needed help with YouTube ads, if I was spending too much on Facebook. So he hit me right in the chest with my pain. So I wasn't any more worried about her video. I clicked his link to sign up for whatever it was he was offering.
Was it free?
It was free. It was completely free. So I don't know if you guys can Google or whatever and find his original link. I don't know where the original link is because I clicked on it from a YouTube video.
No, that's fine. But did you buy into it though? After he sent you to his sales page or funnel?
Yeah, I'm actually signed up for a discovery call on Thursday at 2:00.
Oh wow.
So that he can help me, because that's the other thing. When you have a lot going on, sometimes it'd be better off if you get some help. So I'm serious about getting you guys money. And I know that if I can get in my ad about the Notary Nerds Network in front of the right channels, right? So for instance, there's a place called Solo Attorney University. Go to that website, solouniversityattorney.com. And on that website, oh, that's on my channel. Let me just go to YouTube. On that website, they have Solo Attorney University. Let me see if they have a channel. So here is what I would do when I start targeting for the Notary Nerds Network. I'm going through here and I'm saying, okay, how I started a solo practice. She's got 4,500 views. I'll probably click on her channel and she's got 1,700 subscribers. But this ad, somebody who's coming to watch this video is my target audience. Are they not?
Wow.
That's the power of YouTube advertising, because now my video could populate here. And here's the thing I learned. You don't pay for the ad until the 31st second. So if I hit play and I let this ad number 1 go through, okay, this is not even a real ad. As long as if I skip it before the 30-second hits, that person won't get charged for that ad. Okay, wow. It's 30 seconds. Now, if I click on it, it automatically will charge, or if I wait longer than 30 seconds. So you have a full 30 seconds on YouTube to hook them into you. On Facebook, you're paying for the impression regardless of whether they click you or not. You're paying for the impression. So when I spent, I'll just share with you guys, let me show you the back office of my most recent ad. So you can see how important it is to start learning about YouTube now and don't make the mistake like I have and stay in Facebook land for way too long. Don't get me wrong, it's generated me, some results, but not what I could have generated had I been spending some time on YouTube.
That's part of learning.
Exactly. So here is the back office of my most recent ad. I call it an ad, but really technically it's a boosted post. So this is my very first ClickFunnels. I remember telling you guys I've been spending a lot of time learning ClickFunnels. So I finally got it done. Pricingfornotaries.com. If you haven't taken the free pricing training, definitely do that here. If you're already a member at Notary Nerds, this training is inside of the platform already. So what I did is I pulled it out to make it my opt-in for my ClickFunnels. And as you can see here, back in the day, I would get cost per link click of 8 cents, 7 cents, 6 cents once I honed in on my audience. When I very first started with Notary Nerds, I was getting 6 and 7 and 8 cents per click. Ad costs are going up at Facebook. So now it's costing me 25 cents per click for the same demographic that I already identified. You see? So $1,000 spend got me 2,800 clicks, but only probably 10 subscribers.
Spending too much time prospecting. Introducing Lucia.
Sorry about that. So do you see how if you're spending on Facebook, you're probably going to be wasting more. You're not getting as an effective a spend as you would if you took that same $1,000 or $200 or $300 or whatever your budget is and brought it over to whatchamacallit, YouTube.
YouTube. Hey, Monica, I got a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just curious here. You keep mentioning and you keep bringing up like attorney videos or attorneys for your ClickFunnels or your attorneys for your different demographic for the new spin. Is it a hindrance that attorneys are also honorary notaries, that they have no expiration date? Wouldn't that be a hindrance in a business plan?
Yes, if the attorneys could do all of their own stuff, right? But attorneys can't do all of their own stuff, nor should they do all of their own notarizations.
Like a conflict of interest?
Correct. And the other thing too, my dogs are going crazy. I may have to go out there in a second. And it's 10:02, so this will be our last thing and then we'll wrap up. But the other piece is because we're focusing on the pain points of the solo attorney, that individual who probably does not have a staff yet, they're going to still need us for the after hours mobile notarizations. And in order to build their practice, if they're doing things, and maybe if they want to expand into another area of practice, say intellectual property, and they can get clients overseas, that easy access to a remote online notary now allows them to do that. So there are those aspects of notarial services that we can provide that they can't provide for themselves. And that's why we want to focus on those.
Good points. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, we've been studying this stuff for a while, and we're each one teach one. I want to just end with this. It's 10:03, but starting this month, we're going to do an each one teach one class. And Amy, I need to get with you and get you on the platform because we would love to have you come and be a regular instructor at Notary Nerds. So I will do that tomorrow. James, I will get with you tomorrow, email wise. But starting in August, we are going to have a class called Each One Teach One. And what that class is going to entail are the people who attended the mock loan signing back this weekend have been invited to be group instructors. And we're going to stick with the same refi and purchase packet that we had at the event. And they're going to share with you their collective notes on what the title company owner told them to say and what the title company told them not to say. So for instance, on the CD, everybody was busy taking notes, as Maxine was telling them what you say and what you don't say. So this Each One Teach One class is going to be a great class for those of you who haven't gotten a lot of experience in loan signings, who need to go direct. They're going to help you be able to formulate your scripts for the main documents that you'll find in a loan packet. Okay, your impound disclosure, your signature affidavit, your deed, all of those have certain little 2 or 3 sentences that go along with them. And that's what Each One Teach One is going to be about. But it's going to be led by those who actually attended the mock loan signing. Why? Because they had a full 4 hours of instruction and they took lots of notes. Okay, and so they're going to be the ones to be able to lead the class, and then of course people that are experienced are going to chime in, so hopefully it'll be a good experience. Anything else before we go, real quick? Anything else?
Oh, thank you. And is it too late to sign up for the Ron, not the Ron, the group, Ron group or whatever?
The Notary Nerds Network?
Yeah.
No, not at all. So anybody who is actively subscribed at Notary Nerds University will get an email like the one I sent out tonight. That was the second one. So I'll do it again probably on August the 1st for any people who have come on board between now and then. But then August the 1st, it kind of all cuts off, because then I'll have everybody that I need, because I got to go get attorneys from 3 cities for hundreds of folks. So then it'll be about data entry. So you have until August the 1st to join and get in on this first round. But again, depending on how we do, it'll be available in January as well. Open enrollment, if you want to call it that.
Where do I sign up?
Well, you become a member at notarynerduniversity.com. And that creates a profile for you in Stripe. And then I'll download that report, and then I'll send you an email. So it's not automatic. Or actually, if you sign up now, I think I do have it automated. So when you sign up at notarynerduniversity.com as a new member, you'll get an automatic email inviting you to join the Notary Nerds Network. I did set that up, at least.
Notary Nerds.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Violet. notarynerduniversity.com.
Okay, thank you.
So Monica, when you do get a hold of me, I think we need to talk about some soft skills training, because I didn't see that on your offerings, such as like enhanced Word or Adobe, especially helpful to
Oh,
Ron.
yes, ma'am.
I'm a
That sounds
Microsoft expert
perfect.
user.
Oh,
That is
Amy, I
one
love
area
it.
that I definitely see a benefit, and one thing that I'm offering the people on my platform is that enhanced ability. So maybe if you can convince me to come on there and teach something, I can help in that area too.
I would like that. I would like that
That's
very
awesome.
much. I absolutely would love that. So we'll be talking soon for sure. Probably the beginning of next week.
So what is that considered? Etiquette? That's what you mean? In elevated speech?
I call it soft skills. It's software skills, such as like how to
soft skills,
edit, how to organize, how to format, especially with Ron, because there are some platforms that won't take image files. So you have to convert the document before uploading it, even though even if it's a PDF when it's sent to you, it won't be accepted by some platforms. You have to convert it into an actual text file and then resave it as a PDF in order for it to be accepted.
So soft skills, I got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
All right, you guys, it's 10:08. That 2 hours flew by as it normally does. Thank you very much for coming in tonight. Bye, Andrew the cat.
Thank
I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.